Hey there. Glad to be here one more time. Sitting with my brothers today. We're here with our subject that we need the fathers. We hear about just lifting up our community, telling men that today was a day that we were celebrated. We were celebrated for our efforts and changing our lives to reconstruct what our children look like. So we're thankful. We're excited today. We need the fathers. We need them to come back home. We've been gone too long. Children need you every day. So today we just here having a good time. Happy Father's Day to all my viewers out there that have been hanging in with us week after week. I've been looking at some of y'all that are watching, and it shows me how many times people view, and I'm just thankful that the audience is listening, because my whole message today is that we need each other. The diversity of everything needs to come together. One way is not going to get it. So I'm still opening an invitation to my Muslim brothers, to the Israelite brothers, to any Jehovah Witness brothers. I don't care if you believe the narrative today is to help our young people come together with programming and things that's going to help us make the county and the city recognize the position that we're truly in. Because I tell you, Portland, Oregon, we're in a position. And I'm fighting. I'm front line fighting. I'm not afraid because I ain't got nobody money. They ain't gave me nothing. They can't take nothing. Everything I am, God has allowed me to be. But I know there's a higher plateau of the work I do. I know it's another space that I'm supposed to be in. And I'm telling you this year, before it's over, I'm coming to claim that space. I'm coming to tell them that we need some things. We need some things that we can take care of, that we can spiritually govern, that we can give the right information to those that are lost. Daily, we work in these systems. We work with these people. We get in all these different organizations and people of the truth. We know what the problem is. The problem is we're not trying to really do what we say we're trying to do. And if we were, we would getting results that would be different than the ones we're receiving. All this money, all this work, still having 100 killings, still seeing brothers laying in the street, still got kids in the summer with nowhere to go because you won't fund African Americans to pull spaces up that during the summer some of those kids can have a safe haven, that they could come play basketball, meet with coach, meet with brother Bradley, or meet with Deacon Ron, meet with brother Lee, and learn the things that we've learned in this life. So I'm still compelling. I'm asking that I'm at 4200 Northeast MLK. Make sure that we participate in building a newness, because I tell you right now, it's time for us to move. We have to move now. The strategical time is now. And it's not a violent way. It's not even an argument. We ain't here to even fight with them. We're not here to throw rocks, none of that. We just here to tell them that this is what we need. And without it, we're going to continue to watch our kids in mass numbers. I know some are still going to do what they do. But what about prevention? What about the ones who are doing it because we ain't gave them another option? The ones who are selling drugs because we ain't gave them a job. We can make some changes. I think Rich Rice, Susan Bailey, they're the head of the Water Bureau. Every year they allow me to take 10 African American kids, and we work with them. And Summer Works, which is a county program, pays the kids their salary. I've already hired 10, but the opportunity for others is still available. Got a kid needs some work, 16 to 24 years old, shoot them to Pastor Minnieweather, because I can get them in a system where they can at least get a job. But working with me this summer, I've already filled my 10 slots with my kids, because I take them personally and I go through this summer with them, engaging them in and understanding what user friendly means, what it means to be capable of conflict resolution when things are happening in your life. And I'm trying to teach them some other ways. So I'm still open and extending to youth this summer. Come on, see me. Come on, let me hook you into some kind of a job. And continue to build our community by building us up with the integrity. You know, as kids, we pick strawberries, pick beans, wash cars. We didn't get to play PlayStation. And the PlayStation was the backyard where you got that little thing, get the weeds out. So we come from a different place. And we understand evolution. We understand things have evolved to a place where we can't even really talk to our kids because social media talking to them so much. It's hard to even govern and guide them when back in the day when we were children and being raised by the world that wanted peace, those songs couldn't even have profanity on them. They couldn't even play them on the radio. There was no way a 12-year-old kid was going to hear that. Today we've lost our integrity. Our morals have changed. The cartoons that they watch. We thought Bugs Bunny was violent. Yeah, where he used to burn up Yosemite Sam. But that dynamite, we used to think, whoa, Road Runner. You know, we seen that, but that wasn't something I was finna go do, drop a weight on a man's head. But boy, these cartoons today, they got so many episodes to lead kids to kill kids. Lead kids astray. This music has really went crazy. Yes. It's scary. But I do know one thing. Under all those layers of confusion is actuality. And I know a lot of us live reality. Pastor don't play with reality. Because, yeah, it's real that I was a black man and struggled, come from a hard way, my people. That's all reality. I ain't going to never deny what happened. I ain't going to say it wasn't real because that's reality. But actuality, I can still be whatever I want to be. I don't care what they did. I still have access to being somebody today. And I'm not going to live afraid to be somebody because of what they did way back there. Now, I don't acknowledge any of the pain because I walk on the ground because people were willing to take water hoses. They were willing to let dogs be released on them for what they were trying to do, ready to die and go to jail so we could be free, so we could have a black marketplace, so we could go buy clothes from each other, we could eat at each other's restaurants. They did that. Actually, even when the reality was they didn't want them to. The reality was there wasn't supposed to never be a street with a black person on it doing their thing. But actually, they can't stop you. So my message is today, just let's take that history. We know what happened. Like I said, I wouldn't, man, for everything I love, you come in my home, African artists everywhere in my house. I believe the struggle. But I believe that when he said we could overcome, we still can. And I don't have a dream. Today I have a vision. And the Bible says without a vision, my people perish. So I'm not dreaming about having nothing. I'm seeing us having it. So I'm really excited today. I got Mr. Bradley. I'm going to let him speak here for a little while, and then I'll be back at you. But Mr. Bradley is a unique individual. Anthony Bradley, Mr. Anthony Bradley. He's trying to really do some things to change the diverse ways that we all come together. And he was willing today to say, Pastor, I'll unify. I'll bring whatever I got to the table. So here's my friend. Hope for the rest of my life, because I ain't the kind to make friends for a day.
Appreciate that.
And you guys just listen closely to what we're trying to do.
Anthony Bradley. I'm the executive director of an organization called Play, Grow, Learn. And what we do is we work with young people out in East County and all over the city of Portland. And what we try to do is we host gym nights and experiences for young people, teaching them skill building through sports as a platform that don't otherwise have the resources, the family life, the background and the opportunity to be successful in a very, very difficult community. The primary group that we work with, which is kind of unique for an organization like mine, is primarily homeless youth. We deal with a lot of young people in East County that don't have a place according to certain laws, and we found that number is growing increasingly every single day out in East County. Formerly working for the school district, my job was to make sure that every kid looked the same. And as I kind of looked around, that was extremely difficult when it came to kids that were coming out of cars and tents that you see up and down the street in the city of Portland and East County. And so we had to do what we can to work with different resources in the community. And as a school district person, we knew that wasn't just the only way we could do it. So we started our own organization to address some of the issues that these young people challenge with. And what we did is we started hosting gym nights and hosting camps that would give them an opportunity to be with staff and people that look like them and culturally specific folks that would give them some information on a weekly basis. That started to work for us, and as we started to host them, we realized shortly after that that we had different groups of young people coming in. Once you hear there's an opportunity or a mecca in the community, I think that young people, the word of mouth, people really want to learn, really want to develop skills, really want to be better, especially young people, and especially if they have someone to show them the way. So we had another demographic of young people coming in that were from the foster kids and child welfare organizations, and we realized that that was another group of young people that was struggling with their own identities and skill set.
Yeah.
And so that's how Play Grow Learn was kind of born, was just to kind of fulfill a need in the community, and the need grew because the need is out there. And so we began to try to fulfill it and got some small opportunities to leverage some support from community members like Pastor Minnieweather and other members in the community that support our efforts to make sure that young people don't get left behind. We oftentimes would be walking up and down the street, my partner Jermaine Flintroy and I, and see young people bouncing basketballs off of garage doors in the summertime. They have nothing else to do and nowhere to go. And to me, that's a travesty in the community. We have buildings and gyms and things like that give me the opportunity. As a coach myself, that's a great platform to teach a lot of skills. And so Play, Grow, and Learn was born as a residual of that. And we've seen we've been blessed to see some successes. And we serve just about 250 young people every year. We have about 176 unrepeated youth every summer that come to our camps, and we get a lot out of it, and we hope that the young people get a lot out of it. We know that we see that result that translates into the streets. We know that result translates into the school system.
Yes, sir.
We still work with the local districts, and as a result of that, we're still hopefully continuing on with some of the support and resources of the people and the brothers in the community, in addition to some of the leaders in the community. We take a lot of volunteers on a regular basis from our community, because we want to make sure that the reflection of our staff is the same as the reflection of the young people that are being served. And so we do that from the basis of race. We bring in young people that go to college, that come back in their internships, because we want a young person to aspire to what they see. As a junior counselor in some of our leadership programs, we want to make sure that these young people don't just feel like they're talking to someone older and that somebody's just standing talking down on them, but that's talking directly to them from a knowing standpoint. So that's important to us. That's extremely important to us. Also, the staff that we hire, we want to make sure they have some of the same experiences. We're talking about fathers today. We want those fathers to be able to model some of the same behavior. Even if a young person doesn't have a father, he knows that that is a father. If it's not his father or her father, they know that that is a father. And so we have gentlemen that come in that look just like and model some of the behaviors that we hope that we want some of the young people to follow suit with as well. And so without all the technical stuff and all the training, we know that works in and of itself. That modeling behavior and having the opportunity to have someone that looks like you or that cares about you share and show you information at the same time is a great teaching tool in and of itself. It's a very effective one. And so hosting a gym or having a building or having a platform like sports is just the caveat as far as that's concerned. And we want to make sure that the meat of it is that we are, as men and as fathers, we're doing and not just saying what it should be done. And so they see that in our program, and we hope to continue to add on to some of that.
That's beautiful work. You know, I excitingly sitting next to you, understanding. You know, I want to give a shout out for sure to Michael Magnum. You know,
Absolutely.
There's been some brothers, you know, that's just really been to the grind for this thing. You know, it's just to name them all is kind of hard because there's so many of them that have went forward and thought to themselves, I just want to make a difference. And I'm just saying to the listeners, the viewers, our commissioners, people who are saying that they're looking to make this a better place for, you know, equality, social justice, the words that they use that apply to us all having opportunities, that education, medical help, just a clean neighborhood, just things that we are just supposed to have, that we don't have to be sitting in beat down apartments and cars broke down all around us, and they saying that's the hood. You know, I'm here today to just say we at Straightway Services for over 15 years have been hosting the same numbers they host, same things they do. That's why I want to come together with them so we can be bigger. Because if they put their 200 and we put our 200, we're doing 4. And there's thousands of kids around there that need us. Sad when they link us to just 200. Sad when they limit us to just being able to help 100 kids. But you see all the other gyms hosting thousands. West Lynn and the other communities, man, they gyms, man, they got access to, and we got one place we might can go. One place that we might can really go and be treated like a person, treated like I should be treated when I come in the gym with my pants sagging. Nobody in there understand that. First thing they see it, I'm a gang member, but it's a fashion, crazy fashion. We must admit, just like the skinny pants in the '60s, and some of them turtlenecks were kind of suspect. You you know, but we went through eras of fashion, and it was just fashion. It wasn't saying nothing other than, man, I wear a turtleneck, and I like my clothes nice and tight. We have come to a place by what we see, we tend to make a prospective guess to what they are. But today I want to say I'm thankful for Play, Grow, and Learn. I'm thankful. They would hope that we don't say that.
Right.
They would really hope that he doesn't commend me and I don't commend him, that we commend the people who we think is helping us. Well, I give all respect to everyone who has helped for whatever reason you have helped. There's different motives behind everything. But the real agenda that we have is not what's motivating them, but what's motivating us. Why am I coming every day? Why am I putting my face on the screen saying what I'm saying? No, there's some people going to just hate what I'm saying. Some people going to start writing letters at some point about what I'm saying. Why would I put myself in that position if I'm not for real about knowing what it costs? The Bible says, count up the cost before you build anything. You better know what you might have to pay. You might have to pay your life.
Amen.
That's what Dr. Martin Luther King found out. That's what Malcolm found out. Even though Sam Cooke, he found out singing and having an opinion, got him laid in a motel room. Dead. They say he was with a prostitute, even tried to tear his whole legacy down because of the authority he was having in multicultures. He wasn't just inciting African Americans, he was exciting the world to come back to love. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying I know for a fact every European is not against me. I know that for a fact. And I know there's some that are most definitely against me. And I know that for a fact. So I'm not saying white people. I'm saying evil, mean people. They come from every culture. There's evil Mexicans, there's evil blacks, there's evil Germans, there's evil. So we're not fighting color, we're fighting evil pretense. Something that makes me say, this man, because he has a different color, don't deserve to have food on the table for his children. He doesn't deserve to have a safe home for his children while I live in the hills where you bet not come. Because as soon as they see you, the home owner association makes a phone call and the police there in 10 minutes. Now, I don't know where we have created a system for us that allows us to protect ourselves and how we're culturally designed. I live in a Ukrainian neighborhood. I bought a home out in Wood Village. Man, that's a crazy experience. As a father, I'm saying, because I got down, as you know, as a father, I got to tell my kids what this is. You know how hard that is to try to explain to my kid that there's some people that don't like you because they just don't know no better. They ain't never seen you. They don't know what you've done. But your color has alerted them to believe that something's going on. And then I have my home, and we're going to put a barbecue pit in the back. Got a hot tub on the side. I got my lawn furniture with the big umbrella where we can sit out and chill. Man, them people called me and told me that home furniture ain't supposed to be in the backyard. The homeowners association. I said, so y'all think I bring that umbrella in my house? I said, that's weird. Well, that's backyard accessories. But they telling me as a black man, those accessories don't fit our community. Those are things you cannot have. You can't have your cars in your driveway without tags on them, even if they run. Or we're going to fine you $25 a day until you put tags on your own car, but I bought the home. It's in my driveway. If I don't want to put tags on it, it's my driveway that the car is sitting in. But they're saying, so now I got to explain that as a father to my kid. Just how to own a home. How, because I'm thinking, I shouldn't have to tell them this. When you buy a home, you might have to buy a home where people can accept you. Because we bought a home, beautiful home, for $300,000. Home that would have cost anywhere else about $700,000. But we live in that home, but the price we pay is me every day as a father having to secure my kids in the fact that we're not wrong. Because they're saying we're wrong. We had grass that wasn't proper. Well, we messed around, put the weed killer on, killed the grass, then we put the grass seed down. They tried to fine me for turning the grass green. But now the grass, if I show you pictures, the yard's so beautiful, like golf course grass. You can take your hand, and it's so green and plush. And them people, man, was seriously trying to tell me to tell my children, as a father, that no matter how hard I work, I still have nothing. That's not a father message. That's not a message I want to tell my kids at the end of the day.
No.
Go to work real hard and you still can't have nothing. Buy your luxury cars and put them in your driveway and they're going to tell you that they're junk. I got an SL 500 drop top hard soft. They told me it was junk. Junk? Why don't you say it's pimpish? And I scared you because the real, and these are the things as a father we fight. I got to fight every day in the educational system because I'm a father. You ain't finna do my boy like that. You're not just finna run no shotgun on my baby like that. Because I'm a father. I'm coming. I'm coming to talk to you. I'm coming to find out what you put in this file. Let me see a school record. Because I know y'all will write a story, and by the time he get 18, he'll be a monkey. About what they'll write and put in. But we as fathers, we need to start going in together, supporting each other. When we find out some this unjust thing has happened to an African American young man, he need Brothers Helping Brothers. That's another organization we put together, and it's called Brothers Helping Brothers. We have already went to schools like Tubman, and we came 17 deep, scared the principal to death. When he saw all them powerful black people coming to say, we're not letting this young black man be labeled by you, be treated wrong by you, because he's here just for an education. He's not here to be nothing you want him to be. He's here to be everything that he inspires and dreams to be. And all he needs you to do is help him with the essential education. He doesn't need you to tell him because he doesn't look like you what he is. One of them said, oh, I expect more from a preacher, son. Well, I tell you, preacher kids are the worst kids in the world. Mine ain't. But I understand that label was discriminatory. I mean, when he said, I expected your son to be a better kid because he's a preacher. Well, first of all, what you said he didn't even do. We proved that because when we asked for tapes and video, you didn't have nothing. I'm saying this as a father because I need you guys to know that I have 6 kids. I have 6 of them. I had some when I was on dope. I ain't afraid to tell you. Some when I was addicted. And I've still trained them well enough by the Spirit of God that was in me that I wasn't using. That they're solid community people. My son owns his own business. My daughter, she has a son that's going to be one of the dang on Disney kids. He just made the audition and my just all this stuff that my kids are doing. And I realized it was not me personally. It was the Spirit I started entertaining. So today I'm here to tell all my brothers there's a spirit that if we entertain as fathers, it won't let you walk off. It won't let you let a young lady say, that's her baby. Boy, that's your baby. And you fight for your baby just like you will fight for your car, your favorite pair of Jordans, your Beat headphones. These are things you willing to kill somebody about, but leave your baby on the side. I'm inviting any of you that have any issues with the court system about seeing your children, and you're a man that's free. I have some connections with some people who can give you your parental rights, who could tell you, brother, what you need to do so you could be an active parent, co-parenting with your child, even if your baby mama crazy. So just come on, holler at Pastor Minnieweather. I'm gonna turn over to my daddy too, in a sense, because he's older than me. That's why I say it. But Mr. Gamble has been a foundational piece from the time he came to my ministry. They know he's just like, they see me, they see him, and he's been faithful to everything. So I'm asking him now to just share with you where he's at right now for the kids that don't have fathers, and how on Father Day we want to commend those who are being fathers. Shout out again, great job. But don't just raise your kid, raise your friends to your kids. If they come in your house, show them the same thing you show your baby.
Yeah, Pastor. I'd like to share my experience. My father and motivated me to do the things that I'm doing now. You know, my father was murdered when I was 13 years old. So it wasn't, hospital thing. It was after New Year's, and he had just came by Christmas and everything, and so I was without a father. And I was 13 years old. I went to high school, and my basketball coach, like we always become, became my father figure. But there was a man in a neighborhood, Mr. Duke, had a fourth grade education, had 4 backhoes in his yard, had a $100,000 business. It had a pickup truck, and he used to drive around and pick us up and take us to the Pacer games, take us to the ball games and stuff. And I realized then how important it was to have a strong man in your life.
Yes.
So I sought that. With my basketball coach, I sought that because he gave me discipline, and love and direction. And so when I started coaching and teaching, I realized that there's a lot of kids that don't have fathers. A lot of kids looked up to me as the only man in their life, and it's a lot of pressure, but it's a good feeling that God has given you the gift to do that. It's not me. It's through Him that I'm able to do that. And I've been able to. Before Summer Works, it was Manpower, back in the day and
Yes, sir.
when we at Concordia College, when we ran our National Youth Sports Program, I was in charge of hiring for the whole program. We had 40 slots. And I realized then, when I got the kids together, because I like to talk, I like to share some of the things that I've been able to do, or God's blessed me to do. And these kids, after we only had so many hours at the camp, so we had to have, make up hours. So I had them writing papers. Odd, but what you want to do, and when we sit down, and the last meeting where they signed that time card was at my house. We had a barbecue, and then we sat around and pulled out the papers and talked about that. But I realized that as a man, we have a responsibility to our young men.
Yes.
And one thing I can say with Pastor, he emphasized being a good example. So when you see Pastor, he's the pastor, but when you see him with the shovel in his hand, with the box in his hand, with working, he's saying, I'm no better than you. I'm your leader, but I'm just like you. And it's encouraging to men, and then he trains them to pass that on down, because we can't keep it to yourself. And things that you're doing, and the wall blocks that you are facing. I've been out here since 1973, and I've seen it all. I've seen them all come and go, and people. And the biggest thing that I've seen is that we're not trying to do what you are doing and what you're doing. Is that's uniting our powers together. You know, we got a lot of powerful brothers in this town, man. You know, but everybody wants to. It's me. It's me. It's me. Why can't it be us? Why can't it be us?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
to create an atmosphere for the young brothers to come. You know, I mean, two young men that came down to the restaurant in the last 2 weeks just came down there because they were told to come down there because that's where black men were. That's where pastor was. Somebody who's going to give them some information, you know, some spiritual, you know, lifting, so they can get out here in this tough world, man. You know, it's not like it like it was, you know, because like Pastor said, you know, we didn't have PlayStation. We just had, you know, I mean, you know, I'm telling my age, but you know, we put a thing on the telephone pole to play basketball. You know, a tire rim to play basketball. You know, and we play and we call it the Dust Bowl. When you come home, your hair's all dusty and brown, you know, because we didn't have community centers and things to go to. Now that we have these places that we can bring them together, because your concept in with sports, you can bring them together because they like that. And once you get them there, you can do what you want to do with them, you know. And that's what pastors has been doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do, and we're going to strengthen it and make it even better because we're getting more people that with the same love involved. Because if you don't love it, you can't do it, man. You can't do it. You gotta have a passion for kids. Man. You know, I mean, I've come a long way with my patience and everything. You know, even with my grandson, my pastor taught me something, and it worked great with my grandson. Because he's aggressive. He was 1 pound. He's on steroids. So he got a lot of stuff in him. So when he gets angry, I can't meet him with anger. I can't meet him with anger. And I've been doing that. So it's easy to say, stop. And he'll stop. Oh, you know better than that. You know, when there was a time I would yell at him and do that. And you know, so there's different techniques that work, but that's effective. It's love. And that's what works most. You know, so I'm real excited, Pastor, about this summer. You know, with new people aboard and stronger program, and you know, we just want to reach as many kids as possible. You know, and the thing is that people don't understand is that this is not for money. This is not for money. You know, I mean, when I told Pastor that, you know, I've done camps for professional players and, you know, and made $10,000 to $15,000 a week, you know, and I said, you know, it's not about money, Pastor. You know, it's not about money. It's about reaching these young people, giving them something, you know, they can come back. And, you know, every day at the restaurant, somebody comes in and say, Pastor, you know, I remember when you did this for me. You know, Coach, I remember when you know, back in there. I mean, these guys, I call them my kids. They're like 40 and 50 years old. You know, so if you can put something in them that can stay in them,
Yes,
you know, that you can instill in their heart and instill in their heart, you know. I remember, it's the last thing though. So I remember when this little kid got ran over by a car. This friend of mine's daughter. I came to camp. And it was the first time I expressed myself like that in front of kids. I got emotional. So you know, some guys say, "Oh man, that's the guy who yells at us, makes us run suicides." You know, you know, he ain't supposed to cry. You know, but it taught them that I was real, because I was crying about a situation, about somebody. And it's funny, one of my kids that laughed, you know, recently come up to me and talked about that, what that meant to him. Because he lost his wife, he lost some things in his life, and he cried.
Yeah.
He cried.
Yeah.
And he said, Coach, you know, I said, you was 13 years old, man. You know, you was a kid. You know, y'all was, you know. y'all did like we did. After practice, we talked about the coach, man, and his wife. We did that. You know, the kids do that. You know, so you know, I just glad to be a. I'm proud to be an influence in this community. You know, I'm glad God chose me to be
Yes.
part of this. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
I mean, because without him, I'm nothing. Um,
Yes, sir.
you know, our pastor has taught me something. I mean, when we first met and we were going around and so many people come up to me that knew me and stuff, and the kid said, "Man, you changed my life," you know. And the pastor said, "You can't take God's credit because God did that."
Mm-hmm.
So now when a young man, older man comes up to you and says, "Man, you changed my life," I grab his hands to let's thank God that he changed his life. So give God all the glory to, you know, to all the things that we're doing because we're spiritually trying to lead these kids too. It's not about religion. It's about the spirit. And if we can get the spirits right, you know, the spirit of anger, the frustration, and those things, you know, if we can work on that. I mean, because as grown men, I know those things I'm still working on. You know, my pastor leading me to, you know, teaching me how to do those things, how to handle things, so I can teach that to the other kids. So, you know, a frustrated person can help a frustrated person.
Amen.
You know, so that's why, you know, as men, brothers helping brothers, we're getting stronger so we can filter down and help our babies.
Yes, sir.
So I really appreciate what you're doing,
Thank
Anthony. It's
Appreciate that.
you know, it's a tough battle, but you know, the struggle continues.
Yeah. That's amazing stuff. You know, we have our orientation for the camp tomorrow on the 17th at Concordia College on the gym side. You'll see some balloons and a A-frame board saying that that's where we're registering the kids. This year we're doing a lot of compliance. You know, we have the first week of the class etiquette after basketball is bullying. Next week, etiquette after that, after basketball, is social media. Just trying to teach these kids about what they're being exposed to and the danger of being exposed in such a way. Excuse me, every time I get in here, I don't know if it's dust or whatever, but I get the dry throat and I never have no water. But I'm gonna make sure I got some water next week. But truly, you know, I've been a father to grown men, and that was kind of weird because some are older than me. But when they didn't have a father, they don't know what I know because I had a father who raised me all my life. I never had life without him until he passed away. So all the stuff he taught me, I found out was true. So I teach the same thing. I don't have a different message than my dad had back then. If you're going somewhere, let them know where you're going so they can say where you were last. Because you never know what's going to happen when you're out there. So we're thankful that that registration is going down on tomorrow there. And we hope that people come out and sign your kids up with us so that we have our regulars that come every year. We welcome you back because we've been working with your kids for many years. Some of your kids were 6 and now they're 14. And we've been in their lives over 8 years helping them produce some of the things that they use. And we thank you as parents for what you sow into your children. And you single mothers, I commend you. I really do. I know that when you fail, there ain't no reason for us to talk about your failure because without a man who's supposed to be there doing what he's supposed to be doing, you could overload yourself trying to do both jobs. But I do want you to know that that camp has a lot of compliance to it. We bring in the district attorney, talk about Measure 11 to our kids so they understand the little petty things they're doing. At 15, can send them to prison. You know, taking iPhones and with so I'm trying to teach our kids because our kids don't know it got a tracking device in it. They taking stuff and people showing up at the door, so because they don't understand. So we have to teach our kids. The stealing in this time is almost impossible because they got cameras everywhere, and then they got devices that tell you where you take the TV if you steal it. See, so all that stuff you might want to know and be an educated thief if you're gonna take that route. But to go that way and not have an opportunity to do what you're really supposed to do, it's not a good thing. So again, Coach and I and Anthony are gonna be out in their station doing their thing. Hopefully by next year, we can figure out how to do this together and do it in a massive way where people understand what we're doing. It's not an individual thing. I'm not doing something that ain't need to be done by way more than me.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a beautiful thing. I think my producer slide me a little bit of drink up in there. I appreciate you real well. But I got my newest son right here with me, Charles Lee. You know, Charles is fighting a battle right now to be a father. You know, things have kind of, the terrain has kind of changed after 20 some years of being in that position with family. That now he's gonna have to re-energize himself to give that fatherhood to not only his son, but other kids as he works with us. So I want Charles just share a couple minutes of where he at and how important it is. Get around some men, man. Get around somebody gonna tell you, man up, and let's
Amen.
roll. Cause we got to do what we got to do. So
Amen.
here's my brother Charles Lee.
How y'all doing? I got a story to tell. It don't take too long, but it's a story that I need to have people know. I'm a father. I have 8 kids, but I've also have other kids. I was a bus driver for 17 years for special ed kids. So not only did I have their lives in my hand, my kids' life, but I raised just more than my kids. I was a basketball coach. I was a mentor. So I thought I was the greatest for 17 years taking care of my kids. But in his last 6 months of being up here in Oregon, I sat with this man. I watched him for 3 months straight. I watched him how he dealt with his wife. I watched him how he dealt with his family, how he treated his kids. And I humbled myself. I was broken. I thought I was the greatest dad, but at the end of the day, I really wasn't. My kids love me. I was stern, very stern, too stern with my kids. They went their way, they went this way. But at the end of the day, at these last 6 months, God has brought every last one of them into my life. I have my oldest one. She's standing with me right now. God is blessing me. And I do have my son that God's gonna work it through. I thought I was a great father, but at the end of the day, he told me the way I was carrying myself, the way I was acting with his mother was not right, and it wasn't something he needed to see. So at the end of the day, I need to become a better man. I'm learning how to be a better person. I'm learning how to communicate with kids. You can always yell at kids. You have to go to their level every now and then. Sometimes you have to put your feet in their shoes. You have to see what they're going through at the end of the day. You can't make them have your mindset because they don't, and it's not always going to work that way. You might be able to be a blessing to somebody else's kid that nobody else would have time to be a blessing to. You have to tell them it's okay. Everybody make mistakes. You can say, I've been there. I've done that. It's like I try to tell my daughters. I have 4 girls. And trust me, I tell them, I've been there. I say things you might want to hear so I can convince you to do what I want you to do with me. And after I'm done, then I don't have nothing to sell to. But I don't want nobody to break my kid's heart. But at the end of the day, I cannot shelter them. I cannot shelter. I have to let them grow up, make their own mistakes, get hurt. But at the end of the day, I just dust their shoulders off, pick them up, and be there for them. Like God put me in their life. That's right. That's why I'm learning with my son. He loves me to death. He doesn't understand what he's going through right now. One day get to see daddy, another day he don't get to see daddy. Can't hear from daddy for a week, And then when he's there, it's turmoil between me and his mother, which is not good. He's confused. And at the end of the day, I have to get on my knees and say, God, please fix this situation. Because I asked God to fix the situation. God rectified the situation to let me see that wasn't the situation that I needed to be in. That's not for me. In a week, my heart was broke. God gave it to me on a Tuesday, took her away from me on a Thursday. And I thought that was the end of the world. I got mad. I said some things I shouldn't have said. I reacted in a way that I shouldn't have reacted. I got mad with the man that told me, God got your back. Don't worry about it. I said, how do you figure that? How do you say that when she just left me? You know, I was broken, but iron sharpened iron.
Absolutely.
So I took my chastening. I gave it to God. I was hurt. I was angry. I wanted to turn. I wanted to forget everything that I was doing. Start over. I could have been in the penitentiary right now. I could have been in jail right now. But God let this man in my life for a reason. My kids look at me today. They can understand. Who is this? This is not my dad. My dad would have done things totally different. I said I had to learn how to be the man that I am now. I had to sit down and watch somebody else do it. My dad did what he could when he was there, but I didn't have that father figure. I look up to him as a father. The man treat me real good. I ain't nothing in this world that I can't get from him. Nothing he won't do for me. So I looked at him for 4 months. I swear to you, every day he's the same. Somebody come in the restaurant getting loud, talking crazy. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't go to anger. He does none of that. He said, I love you. Come back tomorrow when you feel better, you know. And I looked at that. So that's the angle that I'm taking, you know. And I thank God for it. Amen.
Well, you know, it's a beautiful thing because at any point, you know, like even I plan to be in the midst of, you know, men and always learn. I'm not the smartest dude. Don't want to be. Kind of want to make sure that when I'm in the room, maybe I'm the dumbest dude. Then we safe. If I'm the dumbest guy around, we gonna be all right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm not intimidated by my brother's intellect. I went to Eastern Oregon State College. I've been around. I've been in the military. I've done some things. So I'm not challenging anybody to what you know and don't know. I'm challenging you to what you do and
Amen.
how you do it. That's all I can say. I don't know what you know, but I know one thing. There's a way to do everything. And I learned that from my father by some of the things he didn't do that was right. But I'm thankful today to turn it back to my brother, and he's going to share with you about his Juneteenth program. He got Juneteenth coming up here.
Yeah.
And man, they putting together some powerful stuff out there in the needed neighborhood. You know, they really don't get much attention. My man bringing some stardom out their way. And I'm just glad to give the mic back to my friend Anthony and let him share about his
Pastor, I know
program.
I'm not going alone. And I want to, before I even go there, I want to make sure I give honor and kudos to the fact that we know that when we do these kind of works, that we don't come
That's
on
right.
our own. We didn't have somebody that came before us.
That's right.
And I want to respect the things that have been done in the community.
Yeah.
Brother Jeff's been here for many, many years with many programs. I've watched him since before I was able to dribble a basketball, leading young men and men in the community, and he's still here doing it. And we need that consistency. And I want to appreciate all the work and the struggles and the things that you've done to even help me be here. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have as much success as I do. So I want to appreciate that. And then secondarily, Pastor Minnieweather, who has the wherewithal to say, from the first minute you saw me, you came in and said, let's join this together. Let's not have it be a separatism thing. And some of the challenges that we have even as men, you know, wanting to be independent, having our own organizations and having the ability to solve our problems and our young people in our own community, we don't look beyond that. So I thank God that I was able to use some of the leverage and knowing that to go to the pillars of the community and people like that and the people in the Miracles organization and other organizations and even Brother Michael Mangum, who is our basketball, does our basketball camps, to know the people that have been there, the kids recognize and that kids relate to are better than the new person comes in and says he's got a better plan for you. Because it's really not our plan in the first place, it's God's plan. So I want to thank you all for being there and be ahead of us. And saying that while we're still there ahead of you, you're still there with us. And we hope to be there.
Mother Peoples. Yeah, she's a Juneteenth queen. Mother Peoples was one of our community greatest. We lost her, and we lost someone who really cared about us. Rob Blake, want to give you a shout out. I want you to thank Mr. McPherson, Joe. You know, still know you guys are fighting, man, out here trying to help the babies. And so he's going to share with you the date, location, time, what kind of stuff is going to happen. Go and tell them what we're going to do.
So it's June 19th. Come on and celebrate with me. My birthday, 50th. We're going to be blessed to come out and have a lot of the celebrations of the Juneteenth holiday. One of the things that have often been said in our celebrations is that one of the things we have to look at is the fact that there was an ugly, ugly, ugly thing that took place before the celebration took place. And if we don't identify the egregious activity that took place beforehand, we can't celebrate in the right way our liberation from that activity. So Juneteenth is going to be a day of celebration, but also a day of information. And we're going to have guest speakers, and we're going to have a community festival of sorts. We're asking you to come out to 182nd at, excuse me, I forgot the name of the location. It'll come to me in a second. But we're going to be coming out there, and I'm going to get the information to you all. We'll put it up on the board. And we'll have different people from City Council out there in East County. We'll have people that are community members. We will have our African American community, and it will be centered around our people. We will have kickball tournaments. We'll have garden gaming tables. There'll be a little dominoes out there. We'll have a barbecue cook-off, and there'll be music and some entertainment that will also be hosted out there that will be culturally specific. Sorry about that. It'll be at Vance Park. I did have that information. Wednesday, June 19th, and we'll be running from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It's be hosted by our Community Development Corporation, which is called Beyond Black. We are a CDC out there, and our need and our interest is to address some of the challenges that we have as an African American community out in East County, due to any kind of variance that sent us out there, and primarily being gentrification and other issues that cause young people to migrate and move to different areas. We want to make sure there's representation everywhere. A prime example is that we don't really have a gathering place for African American community in East County. Anything from 82nd all the way to Mount Hood, if you really think about it, there's no African American safe gathering place in East County. But there are thousands and thousands of African Americans in East County. That's a travesty.
That's a travesty.
That's a travesty. And we try to delegate it to certain areas like Northeast Portland, North Portland. We are all over the place. And we need to have representation all over the place. So that's kind of why Beyond Black CDC was kind of developed. We can't do it without our own. Pastor Minnieweather is Beyond Black CDC. Any community members Beyond Black CDC. We want to make sure that we address any need of our people, any other people of color, or people that are impoverished or marginalized in the East County or any other communities, which is why we need each other. So that need comes with us joining our forces and our resources together, coming and celebrating together, meeting somebody that you might be able to be helpful for, and as well they may be able to support you in your efforts. So come out to the June 19th celebration and party with us and celebrate, and let's get together and pool our resources together and help our communities.
Boy, that's a beautiful thing. Pastor Minnieweather going to be out there in the numbers. That's for y'all to know where it's really at. The numbers. We coming out to the numbers. And out in the numbers, we inviting you to come on out of them places. Come bring your kids. Get them in the kickball tournament. Let them hear all this positive, powerful freedom information. So when they go home, they might clean up the bedroom. We don't know what might just happen if you get them in the atmosphere of this power. But we're inviting that community. Come out. Support. Every year, let's make it whatever that has been provided. Let's make it bigger and bigger. Because there's no problem with Juneteenth being here and one being over there. Because everybody over there going to go over there. Everybody over here going to come over here. So they've had their Juneteenth festival very successful. I mean, the parade was awesome this year. And man, just to see how many gathered down there, it was like, we got a resurgent going on. It's some new people pushing for this movement, and Mother People be proud right now. You know, Mother Green, and you know them pillars that was out there fighting like that. They would love to see what they see, you know, and it's just beautiful, man, that you picked up your organization that picked up the power and decided that you're gonna move it to a powerless area and bring some strength and some redirection. My God's about restoration. He's about redemption. He's about restoring. So we got to go restore that area and bring some hope back out there, because what has happened is we've forgotten that it was by hope that we got to where we were. It was by faith. We believe. That man believed Jeff when Jeff was saying, if you do this, if you do that, success will be your motto. If you wake up early and you get it done and you press in hard and you don't play no games and you be honest and have some integrity. And my man said, here he is. That's because he listened to that. Yeah, and he applied it somewhere.
Pastor, I'd like to say also, because of Mother Green and other folks that have set that stage for Juneteenth, there was never an opportunity for us to like carry that mantle until that foundation was laid. And just as recently as last week, we were blessed to be able to go to Multnomah County as a CDC and Jermaine Flynn, a group that was from East County came out, and we actually allowed the city council to hear our plea and proclamation, and they finally declared for the first time in the history of Multnomah County Juneteenth as a holiday that Multnomah County recognized.
Oh,
And so
come on.
the accomplishment is not ours
I know.
by any
I know,
means.
man,
But when
I
you
know.
talk about folks that laid the foundation,
That's how we get
our
here.
ability to carry that kind of torch and really kind of push that envelope and demand that's recognition is there,
Yeah.
happen. And then it transcends even beyond that, that when we do have our celebration, you will see the mayor in Gresham and East County also as an organization, as a city, declare Juneteenth as a holiday. So I think that that gives honor to you all and those that have laid that foundation, and we want to continue to carry the torch as such.
Yeah, most definitely, because if we leave them nothing, they got nothing.
Yes, sir.
But our ancestors left us something, and I'm tired of acting like they didn't leave us nothing. They were entrepreneurs when they hit this city.
Yes, sir.
If you do that, is it what was that paper? Black.
Black crisis? No.
It's a paper that came out. It was very funny, because it talked about the first business owners on Mississippi, and the picture that's in there. If you look at the name, it says Pastor Bendix Minnieweather. Now, Pastor Bendix Minnieweather was the first African American man to put business on Mississippi. My uncle. He had a restaurant, he had his church, and he had apartments right there on Mississippi, always next to Leonard's Market. If you ever went to Leonard's Market, next door, that was my uncle, Bendix Minnieweather. When I got the paper, I opened it up, and I realized I'm doing nothing new. Just seeing that was in my DNA, to be a business owner, to be over there beyond the odds and beyond what they say and what ain't supposed to happen. And when I looked at that paper, I said, man, look at this power. He just reminded me that my uncle laid a foundation. That if we smart, we can build on it today and start doing our very best to get to a place where we're encouraging our brothers to come together. Man, you got an idea? I don't want to steal it, because I'm not a thief. But if I can help you manifest it, that it does what you want it to do, I'm 100 with you. Not here to be against you. I don't want to stop nobody. So I thank my brother Abner today. You know, we're gonna do some shows together. He'll be on here more than right now. We became family real quick. So you'll be seeing his face and you'll be seeing my face supporting whatever he's doing. And we're inviting other faces. We shouting out right now about to end this show. Calling out, saying we need you guys, man. We need all you brothers, man. Come on. And let's put something together they can't deny. Let's work together in a way that we'll have a gym, our own. We'll have office spaces, and we'll have psychologists and psychiatrists coming to speak to our own. And ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Don't let nobody tell you on your own there's something wrong with that. And it's not biased, it's not racist. We just want to be able to meet the needs of our people. So we love you, audience viewers, and you know, if you're out there, just respond however you respond. I like to read some of the stuff or hear some of the statements, and we're still here, strong, mighty, and we're just growing. So thank God, thank everything that's about the Spirit, and once again, thank Lynch-Bey of the Moorish Voice, who opened up a door to an old raggedy pastor like me and said, here's a platform, build a kingdom. So I shout out to you, my brother. I love you. You always be my friend. Keep doing the great work you do. Hey, y'all. I think the young people say deuces.